Hey everybody, Kathy Gruver here with your Daily Pause, coming to you from Goleta, California. So I had an interesting conversation with a client today. We were talking about some frustrations that she's having in her life right now. Some things are sort of up in the air. There's a lot of turmoil, a lot of things that we could deem as negative and sort of upsetting to her. And one of the things she mentioned was her neighbor has this broken down old car that sits in their parking space. And every day that she comes home, she's got to park her car next to their dilapidated, falling apart, can't even be driven car, and it was driving her crazy, which I totally understand. So it actually got to the point where she knocked on their door and said, look, I will get rid of the car for you. I will pay to have it taken away. I will deal with the disposal of it. Please just give me permission. And they said no. We talked about a couple other things, and she once again went back to this car. And I said, well, first of all, it's not your car. Second of all, I understand your frustration. I said, put yourself in their shoes. Perhaps there is some reason they have this car. Maybe it was the only thing their father left them, and someday they hope to get it fixed up and they don't have the money. Maybe it's a situation where that car has some meaning to them. Maybe there is a reason that they're not ready to let that car go. And she pondered that for a second, and I said, isn't there something that people would look at that you still have and say, that's silly, why are you hanging on to that? And she admitted it was. So she had a little bit of compassion for them at that point. Later in the conversation, she goes, you know what? I know these people. I think they're just lazy. I think they're just stubborn. I think they're doing it just to bug me. I said, okay, well, let's say that scenario is true. You can still, at that point, have compassion for them because there's something in them that's causing them to act that way. Maybe it's an insecurity. Maybe it's a need for control. Whether it has some emotional value to them or whether they're holding onto this car to just be jerks, there's clearly something happening behind the scenes that she's not aware of that we can feel compassion for. I said, so now from this point on, every time you pull into the driveway and you see that car, why don't you use that as a reminder that everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got something they're working on. Everybody's got something that they need, that they can't communicate, that is going on beneath the surface that we're not aware of. And that car, when you pull in, rather than seeing it as an annoyance, you can see that as a reminder to have compassion for people. So there's your lesson for the day. It's about being patient with people. It's about having compassion for them because ultimately we don't know their story. We don't know what's happening beneath the surface. It's that iceberg picture where you have that teeny little tip and all this stuff going on beneath that we typically can't see. We've heard stories about this like this forever. So when moving through your day, if somebody does something that you deem inappropriate or rude or unconscious, just have a little compassion for them because we've all been there. We've all walked through the door and forgot to hold it. We've all run the stop sign. We've all said something in haste that we didn't mean because we were dealing with something below the surface. So your lesson for the day is compassion for self and others. Taking that deep breath, and just like I said yesterday, everything's okay. Having your pause, thinking about compassion.